Yes, see.
I think he is planning to hang around after because Laura Hayes might be coming on, and I think Sherwin wants those two to mingle. So I think he will be around after. So yeah, I'm sure you have time.
Welcome everyone.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
I'm a writer. Welcome. Excel Addict. Hey, how's it going? Irishay, welcome.
And from memory, I'm pretty sure you're the one who introduced me to VIN ROCK like 22 months ago.
We have behind this column. Hey T-Max, welcome. Hey. Hey guys, good to see you again. Here, up here.
She's here.
Right behind you. Here you go.
Hey peeps.
Zay coming, so I gotta apologize to Zay. I missed his birthday party last night. I got on the occupancy time to meet him. It's over with.
I'm gonna get a bit trashed tonight. I'm gonna get a bit tipsy.
Probably the last LGBTQ meetup, and I've done all.
Realist Stream, welcome.
Said Jimmy.
Let's do. Hey. Fur. Hey, good to see you.
Give me two places at once. Wait, this is VR. You can't.
It's VR in the house. Hey. Russ, welcome.
Yeah, yes.
Got an amazing show for you tonight. Can't wait to begin.
You play it.
Be amazing. Okay, good. We're gonna begin in a minute.
I love to dance, so give me more, till I can't stand. Get on the floor, like it's your last chance. If you want more.
Right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. That time of the week that we warm up our hearts. Come on, let's see those hearts for your beautiful, handsome, one and only host. Before I ask him to come out, yes, that's a welcoming sight. That's beautiful. Let's go, everyone. Who's ready now? All right. So it's 3 times. Yes, I did. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to the Tonight Show Starring Sherwin. I'm your DJ Vaditron, and that is your one and only host, Sherwin. Come on now.
What is up, everybody? What is good? We got Gorilla Stream, Sasha, Lassie, Chris, what's good? Cyber Shay, Pete, Nira in the building, Aussie guy, what's good? We got Dipper. Hey, yeah, me in the house. Yes. What's good, everybody? Welcome. Yes. That's me. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Tonight Show starring yours truly. I am so pumped. We have an amazing show planned for you guys tonight. I am very, very excited. Most of you guys know who's here. It's the one and only VIN ROCK. He is here. I'll wait to get to him. But before we do, DJ Vaditron, tell me, how was your weekend?
Oh my God, Sherry, you said it. I've been so pumped the whole week because VIN ROCK is his music and the group and everything. I just grew up with it. So believe me, his music is like engraved in my head. I don't need to play it on, on anywhere anymore. But I tell you one thing, how was my week? I tell you guys back a little bit in history. That is me when I was a little bit younger and I had facial hair and all that fancy stuff going on. But the point of this picture is that's December 19th, 2021. And some of you were there. And that is the holoportation event. And I just could not believe my eyes to see my idol, my star, like on the stage in front of me in Altspace, play my favorite music for me. And I tell you guys, till that moment, whole VR thing was a game and everything. That moment, it all became real and reality. So I tell you, it was such a special moment for me to. Anyway, I can go on about this forever, but yes, it's been amazing. Super excited, and I cannot wait for you to interview Ben. Tell you that.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's
You were
awesome.
busy.
Thank you for that
Very
little
busy.
throwback in time there. Appreciate that. Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to these two ladies in the back over there, DME, that are here every single week. I got to give a shout out. I know I only got a picture with me and T-Max, but I got to get one with Diamond tonight at the Gemini Lounge. But they are just so amazing, you guys. I mean, every single night after the Tonight Show, we've been going there. We'll do it again tonight. They've been opening up their doors to the Gemini Lounge for us to just have a good time after the show. So I got to give a shout out to them. Thank you so much, Diamond Rider, T-Max, for just being so welcoming to everybody. And we cannot wait to see where you go next after Altspace, because we will be riding with you to the end. Yes. Now, speaking of where you're going to end up, a lot of you guys might know I'm in VR chat. I've been in VR chat these past couple of months getting ready for, the changes that are about to happen. Now, if you guys haven't yet joined our group, definitely join our group. All the information is on my Instagram if you haven't seen it. Everybody keeps asking me, Sherwin, are you going to bring your shows over to VR chat? And the answer is yes. We already have our talk show set ready to go. We are ready. We're going to continue doing this amazing talk show that we have, interviewing amazing guests. So we are not done yet, you guys. We have so much amazing things coming up, and we already have some guests that are booked on this show that I'm really excited to announce very, very shortly. So definitely come check us out in VR chat, you guys. But speaking of Altspace, all right, this past weekend we had our station stop over at 106.8. So as you guys know, our station stop is like a mini concert in Altspace. We love it. This month's station stop was the one and only Acoustic Energy. I don't know if you guys know Acoustic Energy. He is a phenomenal singer, songwriter. He's just an overall amazing person. So shout out to Acoustic Energy and shout out to the entire 106.8 team for doing an incredible job with this event. I mean, it's really a fun time. Now, speaking of a fun time, you guys know I love Tuesday Night Turn Up, so shout out to Soul G, our main man, and he's also part of the Tonight Show team. Big shout out to Soul G. He's the one who creates all of our voiceovers for the teasers that we put out there. He DJed last night at Tuesday Night Turn Up, and I love it when he DJs. He has a different style. I don't know if you guys know, but for him being a producer, I mean, the way he DJs is a lot different than you would expect, and I love it. So shout out to Soul G, and shout out to everybody else, and shout out to my friend Zaid, whose birthday was last night as well. Shout out to Zaid. Happy birthday, Zaid. We celebrated his birthday last night at Tuesday Night Turn Up. Now, speaking of thank yous and appreciation, Miss Peeps is in the building tonight. Armani, who I know he's at home or at work somewhere watching. Shout out to Armani and Peeps because we've teamed up together, the three of us, to do an appreciation party for the one and only Artsy. And this is happening this Sunday, you guys, at 8 p.m. So if you're free, definitely come out. She's built some amazing worlds, including worlds for our guests tonight. So we'll talk about it a little bit later, but she's just an amazing person overall and has helped so many people. So definitely come out this Sunday and show her some love, you guys. Now, speaking of our guests, I am so excited because VIN ROCK is here, you guys. He is backstage. He'll be out in just a little bit. We'll be talking to him about everything to do with Naughty by Nature, Metaverse, everything in between. But before we get there, you guys know I do some daily dish. Now, this is the part of the show where I dive into politics, pop culture, and everything in between. All right. And this week is no different because we're talking about some of the same people that we keep talking about that keep popping up in the news, starting with Ron DeSantis. All right. How many of y'all know Ron DeSantis? All right. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He's also running for governor, or not for governor. He's running for president. He's going up against Donald Trump. He's a GOP front runner against Donald Trump. Now, he's got a new book that's out called The Courage to Be Free. Yeah, all right. I don't understand where they get these titles. It's almost like they have to come up with something like interesting, like the courage to be free, the courage to speak my truth. How about the courage for us to give a damn? Because I really don't. Do you? I don't think so. Now, his book is out. It talks about his freedom from Trump's shadow. It's also a New York Times best-selling book, which, it shocks me a little bit because, as we all know, Borders and Barnes & Nobles are out of business. So nobody really goes to bookstores anymore. I'm just being honest. But it is on the shelves over at bookstores. And you guys, I don't know what's more concerning, the fact that it's the #1 New York Times best-selling book, or the fact that it's placed next to a book called How to Be an Anti-Racist. I mean, maybe you need that book for the antidote after. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But you know what? Who else is in the news? Rupert Murdoch is in the news. Now, I don't know if you know who Rupert Murdoch is. He's the chairman of Fox. All right. And he was in court this week, and he actually confessed that he knowingly allowed his hosts on Fox News to put out false information, just rating popularity. I know. I mean, it's a surprise. I know that these hosts that we saw on Fox News were that false information to the public. For me, it's not shocking, you guys. I mean, it's as surprising as telling me that the canned chili from Wendy's is real. I mean, it's not. We all know it's not real. So I don't know why we keep acting like it's real. All right. Now, who's not happy about this, you guys? Donald Trump is not happy about this. He put out a tweet saying, I know, he's always tweeting. He put out a tweet saying that Rupert Murdoch should be ashamed of himself for throwing his host under the bus, and that everything about the election that they said was true. And he, of course, landed it with his signature motto, "It's rigged." I feel like he says that about everything. Do you guys not feel like every line has to end with "It's rigged" that he said? I don't know why, but it's just fashion nowadays. All right, now you know who else is in the news? Marjorie Taylor Greene is back in the news. Now, she came out and she said that she recently was at a restaurant and that, a couple attacked her for her political views. Now, let me just say this. I do not condone confronting your political leaders in public spaces, okay? I also do not condone political leaders confronting their fellow congresswomen in the halls of Congress through a door. Let's take a look.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I'm an American citizen. I pay your salary through the taxes that you collect from me through the IRS. I'm a woman, I'm a female business owner, and I'm proud to be an American woman. And I do not support your socialist policies. If you want to be a big girl, you need to get rid of your diaper and come out and be able to talk to the American citizens instead of us having to use a little flap.
Oh, so did we forget about that moment? Or did we forget about the moment when you were booing and heckling at Biden's State of the Union speech? Did we forget about that moment? Oh, we didn't. So, Marjorie, go ahead and look up the definition of karma in the dictionary for me. I think you should see your face pop up, okay? All right. Now, last but not least, the Department of Energy actually came out this week and said that they have a low confidence that the COVID came from a lab in China, a lab leak in China. All right. So with the low confidence, I mean, pretty much they're saying that, well, they're saying over the last 3 years, we've pretty much learned nothing, okay, about where the leak came from. Now, what we have learned, though, about China is that they've made a new kissing device. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is a new kissing device that they've created. Now, hold on. I don't know if you guys see what I... Can we just zoom a little bit of that? Let me just take a. Do you guys see what I see? Like, yeah, it's missing lipstick. I don't know why they forgot the lipstick. Well, get your head out the gutter, you guys. What are y'all thinking over there? I know you perverted. You guys are so perverted. Come on now. I was thinking I needed lipstick. Oh my God. All right. Well, that is it for. Oh, well, they're going to actually bring this out in China, by the way. And let me just say this. Meta gets a hold of this, you guys. I don't want no virtual babies running around the metaverse. That's just me being honest, okay? So keep this for your personal use and for your lover, all right? Now, that is it for my daily dish. Thank you guys for listening. Now, I am so pumped for our guest this evening. He is a Grammy award-winning rapper. He was from the group Naughty by Nature. He has his new label, Illtown Sluggaz. So much to talk about tonight. So let's go ahead and bring him out, y'all. It's the one and only, the legend, VIN ROCK.
Hello, people. How are you? What did you say there, Big Sherwin?
Come on over. Look at that love. Oh my goodness.
Hey, oh my God. Hello, people, hello.
Got some love out there, Vin.
That's me.
Love out
Yes,
there in the
it's your look.
Well, let me just say this, Vin. First of all, thank you again for coming out tonight. This is, by the way, you guys, this has been a long-awaited moment for us. We've been talking for some time now. I've been wanting to get Vin on the show, talk about all the amazing things that he's doing. And he's just been so busy lately. So for him to take some time out to come out today, it really means a lot to me, to everybody else here tonight. So I want to say thank you, Vin.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yes, well, we're excited. So let's just jump right in because I think people want to get to know you a little bit better. So tell me, Vin, how did you get into music? Because I know you're a Grammy award-winning rapper, but you didn't just become a Grammy award-winning rapper overnight, right? It took some time. Tell me where you started, right? I know you're from East Orange, New Jersey, so shout out to everybody from New Jersey. Tell me about is that when you got into music? Was it in your childhood?
Yes, absolutely. For one, I'm the youngest of 7, 5 sisters, 1 brother. And I remember listening to music, the music my brothers and sisters listened to. However, I did have a neighbor up the street who was into hip hop music and breakdancing. His name was Mark Young, Loco. So he was the guy who really turned me on to hip hop. And I started breakdancing and doing the beatbox. And lo and behold, I met KG. Then Tretch was in my health class. We got together for a high school jam. And that's how it happened, a garage band.
Yes. Now, speaking of KG and Tretch, now, when you met them, I mean, was it you guys grew up together? You went to high school together? Is that correct? So was it an instant connection or did it take some time to really get to know them and say, all right, now these guys, I can really get behind getting in a group with them?
Well, in Jersey, KG and I went to elementary and middle school together. We linked up with Tretch in high school. So Kay and I were the closest all the time. And then, Tretch was in my health class. I brought him over to Kay and we did our first talent show. So that's really how we got together. But basically, we've known each other since we were like 14, 15 years old.
Oh, so you guys go way back. That's amazing. And speaking of talent show, right, that's really where you guys ended up getting discovered, right, was through talent shows. And, a big personality that ended up finding you guys, mentoring you guys was Queen Latifah, right? The Flavor Unit and everybody on that crew. Tell me about getting to know them. They took you under your wing. They mentored you guys. Was that really the first time you guys got to see how the industry worked when it came to hip hop?
Well, prior to running into the Flavor Unit, we were signed to the old Sugar Hill record label. Miss Sylvia Robinson, Joey Robinson Jr. So, songs like Rapper's Delight and The Message, some of the biggest hip hop records that were recorded, we signed to them first. And when things didn't work out, we sought out Flavor Unit. And just so happens when we were seeking them, they were starting their management company. So Queen Latifah and Shakim started Flavor Unit Management. They signed us as the New Style, but we had a dilemma. We had to change our name to get away from the Sugar Hill Records label. So eventually we came with the name Naughty by Nature.
Naughty by Nature. Now, tell me about the New Style. So you guys started off as the New Style, like you just said. How did you guys come up with that name? What was the theory behind the name, the New Style?
Oh, we got our name, the New Style, from our first talent show. So from high school,
Okay.
you know, we didn't even have a name of our crew or anything. And back then, you would just do routine. So we did routine. It's the New Style. We went to routine for the talent show. It went over so well after the show. We were like, man, that was cool. And we don't even have a name for the group. But that New Style thing worked at the beginning. So we settled on our name being the New Style.
I like that. And you guys have some really unique names. I mean, like just even some of the song titles that you guys come up with. I believe one of them that you guys came out with was called Scuffing Those Knees, right? I think we have a picture of it. So tell me how you come up with these names. I mean, what is Scuffing Those Knees? What does that mean?
Well, yeah, there's the single cover. Scuffing Those Knees is basically the ultimate ode to a starving artist. So anyone who's in the pursuit of a career, right? If you're coming out of college looking for a job, if you're in between jobs, if you're a startup company, while you're in pursuit of success, you're scuffing your knees. So that's what we were back in the New Style days. We were scuffing our knees trying to make it.
Right. I love it. And there's so many, like even Illtown, even today, like Illtown, we'll get to that in a bit. I love how you came up with that name. That's really interesting as well. Now tell me about, when you first changed your name, right? From the New Style to Naughty by Nature, because I think this is something that a lot of people don't know, actually. Naughty by Nature was actually supposed to be a song title. Isn't that correct? It was supposed to be a song title that was going to come out. And then you guys, who wrote it? Tretch wrote it?
Yes. So we were the New Style, and when we first linked with Flavor Unit, they were like, "Hey, you're gonna have to change your name from New Style to something else." So in brainstorming, Tretch went in his lyric book, and actually the name Naughty by Nature was the title of a New Style song. So we were like, "Okay, that's kind of catchy," but Flavor Unit thought the name was a little too long. But Tretch was like, look, everyone's naughty by nature. And we kind of stuck to our guns, settled on the name, and then there you have it. We changed it to Naughty by Nature.
I love the name. And I'm really curious too, by the way. I mean, even the outfit that you guys are wearing. I mean, who came up with this? Was it you guys really, finding stuff in your closet and putting it on back in the day? Or was you guys have a stylist to help you guys? Because one thing I always notice, especially with some of the trends and stuff, you guys set a lot of these trends, even in fashion, right? This was like something that nobody was doing back in the day. And now we see a lot of different artists kind of doing this trend of what you guys are wearing. So tell me, like, did you guys come up with that on your own, or was there a stylist helping you guys?
Yeah, well, if you notice in the New Style pictures, we had on Argyle sweaters and high top fades, and we were a little more fashionable because in the 80s, you had people like Heavy D and the Boys and Kwame and Kid and Play. Those guys were really fashionable back then. But in our transition from the New Style to Naughty by Nature, we actually tried to dress up as like old school gangsters with zoot suits and Tommy guns. And when we went to a Tommy Boy, they were like, the name is good, but that styling isn't right. So Tretch was like, you know what? We come right off the streets. Man, never mind all the gimmicks. Let's just come straight off the block, how we are on the block. So that's how we came up with the Timberland boots and the jeans and just the regular street clothes. And that was comfortable for us. And a lot of people saw that when we were successful with our music. So they followed suit.
Right. You guys really introduced like authenticity, right? Because you guys are yourselves. You guys never had to change yourself for the industry. I feel like, what you see is what you get with Naughty by Nature. I mean, they didn't have to change anything about them to please anybody. You guys were just true to who you were, and people supported that and loved that about you guys, even to this day. So shout out to y'all. Yes. Now, tell me, speaking of Tommy Boy, you brought that up, right? Speaking of Tommy Boy, tell me about like getting signed to Tommy Boy, what they did for your career. Did they help launch your career into a different, element, or what was their involvement with your career early on?
Yeah, well, Tommy Boy Records, that was the perk of signing to Flavor Unit management, because Queen Latifah was signed to Tommy Boy Records. So she put out Wrath of My Madness, her song Ladies First, and she had a great publicist. So we always loved the branding and the imagery they portrayed for Latifah. That's what made us pursue Latifah and the Flavor Unit. It was like, we want what she has. So once we signed to the management company, they got assigned to Warner Brothers Records, which was the parent company to Tommy Boy. And since Tommy Boy was more street savvy, the project got handed to Tommy Boy. So we stood on the shoulders of Soul Sonic Force, Queen Latifah, Digital Underground. I mean, you name it, Force MDs. You name it. So Tommy Boy knew what they were doing. Flavor Unit was experienced because of them handling Queen Latifah, and we made it happen.
And I think, it really turned out for the best. And it's really funny because when we were talking earlier this week, I brought up some different, other groups in hip hop, right? I said Run DMC and I said Public Enemy, and we were talking, and I personally thought maybe that they were comparing you guys to these groups, right? Because like you said, I guess they came out right before you guys, but I thought maybe that there would have been some media pinning you guys against each other, right? But you actually told me that they mentored you guys throughout this space. So tell me about, other, groups out there that really gave you guys advice, taught you guys early on. I know Public Enemy and Run DMC were two big groups, you guys as well. So tell me about them. Yeah.
So Public Enemy and Run DMC, they were two of our greatest influences besides Queen Latifah and Flavor Unit. As a matter of fact, once we blew up with our song OPP, our first major tour was with Chuck D and Public Enemy. So we learned a lot from the S1Ws. We learned a lot about merchandising from, Public Enemy. And Flavor Flav gave me one of my favorite drinks till this day, coffee and Baileys. He told me one morning, yo, Vin, when you get up in the morning, this is the drink you have. You get you some coffee and you get you some Baileys. That'll get your blood going in the morning. And then Run DMC, around the time we came out in 93, they were working on their Down with the King album, and KG and Tretch produced a few songs on that album, Down with the King, and we toured together with Run DMC. So I remember, if you can imagine, in the early 90s, us in a limo, 3 Run DMC members sitting on one side of the limo and 3 members of Naughty by Nature sitting on the other side of the limo. And we absorbed so much game from them and learned so much from Run DMC professionally and on stage, both groups. So big shout out to Run DMC and Public Enemy. Those are our forefathers. We love them.
I'm just being honest, you guys. I smell a versus battle coming soon. Has this ever been on like your vision board at all? Like, hey, let's do a versus battle against one of these guys.
No, I think Naughty would size up with like a Tribe Called Quest, but
okay.
They have some strong catalog as well. Yeah.
That would be awesome. I love it. Now, speaking of some of your biggest records, right? OPP, was another big hit that came out. Everything's Gonna Be All Right as well. And one thing that these two songs that have in common is that you guys sample different songs, right? You guys sampled Jackson 5's ABC. You guys also sampled from Bob Marley. So tell me, when it comes to these artists, because they're very different. Jackson 5 and Bob Marley. Those are two very different artists, right? So how do you guys come up with this? Is it just music that you're inspired by, and then you're like, let's sample that? We love Jackson 5, so let's sample that, but let's do it OPP, right, instead of ABC. Is that how you guys came up with that?
Exactly. And we came up in the golden age of hip hop where there was a lot of digging in the crates. They call it digging in the crates because a lot of the DJs and kids were in their parents' record collection. So all of the soul records, all of the pop records, you dig in there and you find different jewels. And once you sample and loop it, it's like you get to recreate these records. So for us to use the Jackson 5 sample and the Boney M version of Bob Marley's Everything's Gonna Be All Right, those songs are like the gifts that keep on giving. So we definitely shared in the publishing, and it was worth every penny, man, because we were able to remix these songs and they become some of the biggest songs in hip hop.
Yes, definitely. I think we all can agree and get behind that we love those songs as well. Now, speaking of like, a little bit on a different topic, right? You guys also had some film cameos and things of that nature, right? I know you guys played a big role in the Juice soundtrack that came out. It's funny because we actually did, there's a Juice a film, I believe, like Ty Sky and a few other people participated in this film that they did here about Juice. But I just found out recently that you guys were actually a part of the soundtrack that took place as well. And then also Meteor Man, you guys all played cameos in Meteor Man. So tell me about these cameos. I mean, they're kind of random, but have you ever had a dream to want to pursue acting or theater at all?
Well, as everyone knows, Tretch is our television and film guy. He does a lot of television and film. And we were lucky to get on that Juice soundtrack because, they asked us kind of last minute. And the song we put on there, Uptown Anthem, wow, that's one of our biggest records, And then this Meteor Man movie, we did a cameo because we were really good friends with Robert Townsend. So he called us for the cameo. But Meteor Man was the movie that made me say, I don't have the patience to act. Because all I remember was hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. Oh, we're about to shoot. Oh, no, we're not. And then you fall asleep in the trail and then you have to be up and ready to go. I was like, no way. I'd rather be a rock star on stage. However, we do have aspirations of producing television and film in the future for sure.
Yes. I mean, I could definitely see like a Naughty by Nature biopic or something coming soon. I mean, is that something you guys would be interested in doing, or a documentary about how you guys came together? Something like that would be kind of cool, right?
Yes. And there's been talks. I mean, Flavor Unit, Queen Latifah, her production company, Queen and Shakim, they've offered us 1,000,000 times. They said, you know what? Naughty by Nature's story is Flavor Unit's story because you guys were the first artists on our management, roster. And then Queen Latifah went on to have a great career and put on other artists. So it would be a great story. So maybe one day we'll figure it out and have our, biopic produced by Queen Latifah. How great would that be, right?
That would be amazing. And we had, just a funny note, we had Miss Laura Hayes here a couple of weeks back, and she worked with Queen Latifah on Beauty Shop. And she told me that she runs her productions like a tight ship, that, it's lobster dinners every night. So, I mean, I can get behind that. You guys will probably have a great time with Queen Latifah producing your biopic. That'd be amazing. Now, you guys stuck to music, though, right? Film wasn't the route that you wanted to go down. You stuck to music, right? And then came out 1993, right? And it's actually the 30th anniversary, which is really funny that we're doing this interview around the 30th anniversary. But isn't that correct? It's the 30th anniversary. Those are the vinyls, the orange vinyls. Tell me about this album, because I know it was a big, staple in your career. A lot of people, recognize a lot of the records on this album. Hip Hop Hooray is one of them. We'll get into in just a second. But tell me about this album, because it really made a mark in hip hop.
Yeah, so 1993 is the 30th anniversary of our second album, which was this 1993 album. And Tommy Boy Records reissued this year new vinyl. So this is 30th anniversary vinyl with special color, the orange on it. And yeah, it's the 30th anniversary of that album and our hit song, Hip Hop Hooray. So for all of you youngsters out there, Hip Hop Hooray may be just as old as you. It's 30 years old.
Yes. Well, it's actually a song that we even hear today. I mean, it plays in so many movies. Sometimes I'll be watching a movie. I believe I was watching Freedom Riders, possibly, and I think it popped up in Freedom Riders.
Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street was a great cameo for that. Yep.
Yeah, they did. They did Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, so it pops up in here and there, which I love, and it's so amazing. It's like a flashback. But yeah, like you said, Hip Hop Hooray, huge record. It was also a huge music video that you guys shot as well, because it was directed by Spike Lee. You guys had Queen Latifah, MC Lyte. I mean, so many cameos in that video. Tell me about shooting that music video. Did you know it was going to be a big hit before it came out, or was it, after it came out, then it became a big hit and it surprised you?
Yeah, Hip Hop Hooray was the first single off of our second album, and back then Spike Lee was on fire with all the music. The films he was doing. So for Spike to break away from the films and, volunteer to shoot our music video, we were like, wow, that was a coup in itself. So we shot in Brooklyn, we shot in New Jersey. And like you said, we had the cameos, the likes of Run DMC and the great Eazy-E from NWA. DJ D Nice was in that video. Queen Latifah, Moni Love, the youngsters, you name it. As a matter of fact, Tupac Shakur was on the set of that video, but he never made the final cut. I don't know what happened. So someone dropped the ball, but we definitely have the raw footage.
Yes. Well, that's amazing. I mean, even just the lineup right there, I mean, that's incredible. And for those of you who haven't seen it, I mean, you definitely go watch the video, but here's just a little clip for you guys. Hip Hop Hooray music video with Naughty by Nature. Let's take a look.
Sing it with me, y'all. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, 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 here we go. Oh my goodness, would you look at that? That t-shirt I have on in the video is a t-shirt of Mike Tyson. And that's when he first went to prison, and it was a big campaign, I'll be back. So that t-shirt, I found it in London, became bootleg.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, it was genius for Spike to have all these people waving their hands in the air like that.
Right.
Oh my goodness, that just set the whole entire song off. Until this day, in football stadiums, sports arenas, everywhere you go, people are waving their hands in the air, even in the metaverse and Altspace.
It's incredible. It's so incredible. And you told me a funny story about this the other day. You said this was like one of the only rap videos back in the day that had people clothed, right? I mean, that there was women wearing clothing.
Right.
It's rare.
I said, if you noticed in that video, all the women are fully dressed, fully clothed in that video. That's how we did it back in the day.
Right. And that just goes back right to being authentic, being who you guys are. I mean, it was about the music, right? It wasn't about all the superficial things, having the nice cars and the nice clothes and all this stuff. It was about being who you are, right? And then that's what we loved about you guys and what we still love about you guys. Now, after this song came out, right, you guys put out your next two albums, right? Poverty's Paradise, 1999. Now, Poverty's Paradise became a huge album as well. You guys got a lot of success from those. Tell me about the process when it came to writing these albums. Was it you three sitting down, writing the song together? Would you guys split it up where you say you take three, I take three, and we come together? Tell me about how you guys come up with these albums, because I know being in a group, right, there's probably some headbutting that goes on about who gets to sing what verse and use what song. So tell me about your process.
Right. Well, that's the beauty of being in a group. You have so many different ideas from three different individuals on top of different, songwriters and musicians who come in the studio. But our process starts from, it could be a random joke that turns into a song title. It could be a beat or a sample that KG, hears and chefs up. It comes from many different ways. And once we get it, sometimes the chorus comes first, sometimes the beat comes first. And we get in there and chef it up and carve it all up. And next thing you know, you have a Grammy-award winning album like Poverty's Paradise. That was our third album, and we won our first Grammy. Actually, first and only Grammy with the Poverty's Paradise album. And the hit single on there was Feel Me Flow. Here we go now, holla if you hear me though, come and feel me flow. That song, that was so much fun. And then this album, 1999, we had a song called Jamboree on there, which was the big record. And we had the likes of Shaquille O'Neal in the video, Peter Guns, Renee from Jeanne, Pepper from Salt and Pepper. So we always had fun in our music videos. And like you said, it wasn't over sexualized and it wasn't so materialistic back in the day. It was just it's having fun and showing people like in the hood and with hip hop, man. It's all about peace, unity, love, and having fun.
Absolutely. And that's what earned you guys a Grammy. I mean, you guys are now Grammy-award winning rappers, Poverty's Paradise. I believe won Best Rap Album, right? It was Best Rap Album that you guys won. Huge, huge accomplishment. Let's take a look at that. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, what did that do for your career when you won a Grammy? How did it feel to say, oh my God, I finally achieved Grammy status? I mean, that's huge.
No, it was great back then. But the unfortunate part was back then we put out the album in 95 and won the Grammy in 96 the following year. However, unfortunately, back then, the Grammys did not respect rap music. So during the ceremony, it was never televised. And I remember pulling up to the arena or the theater, and we were walking in, and they said, "You guys won a Grammy." So we never even went inside the auditorium. We just went straight to the red carpet and went to the press room and were like, "Look, you see those pictures right there." We never even got to see the ceremony, but the Grammys have come quite a long way. And if you see the past Grammys, they had a great 50th anniversary of hip hop presentation with LL and Queen Latifah and Public Enemy. So big shout to the Grammys, and that's what it's all about: knocking down doors, breaking down barriers, and opening the floodgates for future generations.
Absolutely. And to your point, I mean, a lot of rappers have come out and said that publicly, right? That the Grammys, never really focused their attention too much on the hip hop categories, right? It was all about the pop and the mainstream, right? But I can tell that, I think times are changing, and I think more and more people are actually listening to rap music, which is really funny because we have a lot new artists, upcoming artists that are coming up. Like, we got, all the Glorillaz and Lotto and Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, all these new, even female rappers that are coming out, right? I mean, so
the
many
ladies are
people.
taking over. Ladies, make some
They really
noise.
are,
You're taking
aren't they?
over hip hop right now,
They are, absolutely. Now, tell me, before we get to Illtown Sluggaz and all the amazing things you've done with them, I think people want to know, so what happened with the group? Because you guys ended up splitting, after all this success, right? You guys ended up parting ways. I know there was some tension in the group. Tell everybody what happened. What happened with the group? You guys split. Elaborate on that.
Well, I would liken it to, or chalk it up to, group fatigue, right? I mean, we've known each other since we were 14, 15 years old. We've been making music and creating and traveling and up each other's butts for ever since we were 15 years old. And now, I'm 52 years old this year. I'll be 53. So it's been quite a long time. And any brothers, family, marriages, you need a break. So I think that's what we're doing right now. Just taking a break. People are pursuing our other interests. The corporation, the trademark, everything is still intact. So we're just taking a break, and eventually we'll get back together and continue this legacy. But Naughty by Nature is forever, and you could never kill that group. Much history there.
Yes. Absolutely. And I mean, you guys still work in some capacity, right? I mean, even with Illtown Sluggaz, right? You and KG do a lot of work with Illtown Sluggaz and that label. Tell me about Illtown Sluggaz. What does Illtown Sluggaz mean, first of all? I think people want to know the context behind the name. And then tell everybody, what is Illtown Sluggaz? Is it a record label? Is it an entertainment group? You guys are signing new artists? Is that what's happening?
Right. Well, let me tell you how we came up with Illtown Sluggaz in the Bear real quick. I run the merchandise for Naughty by Nature, and we had a guy, Pavel, from Russia. He had a bear mascot. Well, he had a bear on a T-shirt, and he had the Naughty by Nature logo on the hoodie the bear was wearing. So I was like, wow, I need something similar. Lo and behold, we came up with this bear character, but he still had the Naughty logo on his sweater. And I was like, you know what? we can't make it a naughty mascot. And KG was like, you know what? We should call that bear Slugger. And like Louisville Slugger, because the bear held a bat. So I'm like, instead of Louisville Slugger, we're from Illtown, East Orange, New Jersey. So his name should be Illtown Slugger. And we could have a group called Illtown Sluggaz, make a DJ hype set group out of it. Plus we'll make new records like Khaled, you know, Marshmallow and guys like that. You know, they're a DJ, but they work with other artists and I said, you know what, Kay, we could be a group. We'll have Slugger Music record label, build out a Slugger Music ecosystem. KG loves developing and breaking new artists. So if you are familiar with KG, he's put out the likes of Next and Janae and Jaheim on the R&B side. He's produced for Michael Jackson and Luther Vandross, you name it. So he still loves developing new artists. So we were like, bet. Illtown Sluggaz and the Slugger Music platform will be for new artists, breaking new artists, and you know, eventually we'll get into a Slugger Music Festival. And we have an emphasis on new music discovery by live performances. I think a lot of new artists today, they depend too much on the internet and streaming platforms. They put up and upload their music and they expect everyone to love them. But if everyone went to college and when you were coming up, new music discovery was going club for club, bar for bar, and seeing new acts perform live. That's when you first fell in love with them. That's when you wanted to follow them. So that's what we want to do with this Illtown Sluggaz platform.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing. That's really amazing. And you guys have signed some really, really incredible artists. And these artists work really hard. I mean, Ryan Lane, we were just talking about the other day. I mean, he's an artist signed to Illtown Sluggaz. He's not, you know, actually signed, I believe you said. He's just works with you guys in a capacity. But, you know, he works really, really hard. And, you know, you guys created a song called Fiesta and you put a whole music video out. Tell me about like artists like Ryan Lane. I mean, how much work are they putting in to, you know, be successful? I mean, is this really where they're, you know, jump starting their career with, you know, music?
Exactly. And Ryan Lane is a very talented singer, songwriter, producer, choreographer. So he was in the studio working with KG. KG's production partners, Lady and the Tramp, big shout to Tramp and Precise. They brought Ryan to the table. So we've been working with Ryan and we actually took him on a 55 arena tour with New Kids on the Block this past summer. So we got to open up the set as Illtown Sluggaz. We brought Ryan out. He got to sing and he had a chance to perform the new single, well, that current single, Fiesta, with us. Man, he had the time of his life on tour. And after we finished 55 arenas, he broke down and cried like a baby along with the rest of the crew. But it was a great experience for him. And we're going to continue to do more work with Ryan. And you'll hear and see and enjoy more from Ryan. As a matter of fact, Sherwin, I was going to bring the Slugger crew here immersed in VR to perform tonight, but they're breaking all of this down. So I was like,
well, we gotta bring him to VR chat in our new show on VR chat and give him a nice, good show over there. Because I think a lot of people would love to see the Slugger crew kill it. You know, and you guys did holoportation concerts as well. We'll get to that in just a second. But before we do, you know, like you said, you took Ryan Lane on tour with New Kids on the Block. Here's a clip from that tour with the song Fiesta playing in the background. It's a mix between the music video, some shots from the music video, and some shots from the tour. So let's take a look.
So we can get the party hopping. Who's taking, who's faking? No time for any petty drama because it's love we're making. Hit the drop top, jump in, let's slide. The world's open up, baby, we outside.
We outside.
It's time to lead those leeches, living it up on white sand beaches. We just know nobody can compare. Mad bottles, you would think I'm a prince
Yeah, so what you're seeing is us performing, and it's part of our meet and greet experience, like those parts. We have a meet and greet experience, a dance line, karaoke. You sit on the big chair, take pictures with us. We love it. We have a good time out there with this slugger movement.
Amazing.
Yay.
Tell me about the
Sure,
tour.
you guys go on Spotify,
tour.
all the DSPs, and stream Illtown Sluggaz music. We have tons of great music up there with new artists and more music on the way.
Yes, we cannot wait. And I mean, this tour itself was pretty iconic. I mean, the mixtape tour. You guys had New Kids on the Block. You guys had Salt and Peppa. Tell me about being a part of this tour. I mean, it must have been an incredible experience, even just to be alongside these amazing groups, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're veterans in the game. And I mean, even in the early 90s, we toured in London one time with New Kids on the Block and Mark Wahlberg. So we've always known each other. But around 2010, Donnie Wahlberg reached out to us as Naughty by Nature. They were doing a show. They were just reuniting themselves, getting back on the road. And they did a show at Radio City Music Hall in New York. And they called us out as Naughty by Nature because they had a song with Hey Ho in the chorus. So he wanted to surprise his fans and say, when we do our song with Hey Ho in the chorus, you guys come out and surprise them. And, from 2010, we locked back in, but it took a while for everything to align. In 2019, we did this particular tour with New Kids on the Block. So Naughty by Nature was on the bill, but Illtown Sluggaz opened the show. And then in 2022, we were invited again as Illtown Sluggaz. So Slugger opened up and did our DJ hype set, and we were able to do our Slugger Lounge meet and greet experience. That's what you just saw in the previous video. So big shout to the Blockheads, Donnie Wahlberg, New Kids on the Block, their entire crew, man. They've embraced us so much. We've learned so much from them. And, even as veterans. So, the next stage of what we're about to do, as far as even putting on our own Slugger music concerts, that's what we're doing at home. So you'll see a lot of that coming up.
I'm excited. And you guys, what I loved about just in general with when you guys were on tour is that you really incorporated the metaverse with it too, because while you guys were doing, prepping for tour, you guys were also doing these holoportation concerts. How many of you guys, by the way, in the audience have gone to one of these concerts? I believe you guys did 2 of them here in the metaverse. All right, we got a couple people. Yes. I mean, they were really, really fun. I know a lot of people went out, talked a lot about how amazing it was. I mean, it was really the first of its kind here in Altspace. We never saw anything like that. I know Artsy built phenomenal worlds. I think Nira was a part of it as well, created MREs and stuff, wearables that you guys could put on. Tell me about the concert. I mean, it was an amazing experience. Was it your first time doing anything like that in the metaverse?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I have a ton of people to thank, for introducing me to the metaverse, in particular, Altspace VR. First and foremost, my partner, Pixel Addict, Greg Karen, he does e-commerce, runs all of my e-com for Naughty by Nature. And he was telling me about, VR. I have a friend, Laura Mingale in Canada. She was telling me about VR. She took me around and showed me VR, put me in my first headset. Then just so happened, once I got a headset, my buddy Rock Dollar, he's from North New Jersey. He's the deputy mayor of North New Jersey. Once I got into Altspace, he was the man in here. And it was great because he was a person, the avatars are great, but I physically knew him at home and he was someone close to me. So thanks to Big Rock, he showed me around and kind of leapfrogged me into the community. So thank you all for accepting me. And then I met Nira. I had a pending meeting with her, but we met in one of the comedy rooms, and then she turned me on to Artsy. Doc Rock turned me on to Artsy, and I met Nira, and then it just piled on. So many talented, creative people in this space. I really appreciate what you all do. And again, I was a newbie to this space, But I guess because of my brand and my legacy, we were able to kind of leapfrog and get with Microsoft, and they gave us the holoportation equipment so we could do these holoportation concerts. But I think it wasn't in vain because I was really into it, and I'm still into it, very much into it. Even with Artsy, once I saw what she built for Rock and everyone else, I was like, I need a mansion with 1 million worlds. And we ended up building out 9 different worlds. So I was passionate about it, and I believe Microsoft saw it. And they were like, Vin, look, we'll give you this holoportation equipment and you could throw concerts. And I kind of felt sort of a kind of way, because I know a lot of people have been in the space working hard on their own and may not have necessarily had a chance to get access to the equipment. And here I come and I got access to it. But, you know, I try my best to include everyone. And I know how you guys work. Once a project is at hand, you all support each other, you all surround each other, you combine resources, and it's a collective effort to make sure these events are successful. So we did 2 or 3 holoportation events, and thanks to you all and all of your expertise for helping us out and making us look good, you know, and that's what we did. So I really, really love this space, and I really hate to see Altspace go away.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both, and shout out to Rock Dolly, he's here tonight as well. I mean, it's definitely not a one-man show, and you know, from experience of putting on these shows and everything, takes a village. I mean, it really does. And so to see the amazing support from one another that not only you got, but all of us get in this space. I mean, we're all in this VR thing together, and we're really adapting to this technology in this era, right? So for us to be there for one another is really, really important. So I think it's amazing that you had such an incredible team behind you pushing this through. We're very, very grateful for the relationships that you've built, you know, with Altspace, that we got the chance to actually see you and meet you in here, that we were just talking backstage before the show. That's how crazy the metaverse is. I mean, who would have thought, right, that a talk show host from California is meeting a rapper from New Jersey, right? Only in the metaverse, right, could that happen, right? Now, we actually have a clip of some of your behind the scenes of your holoportation concert. So let's take a look for those people who missed out. Let's take a look.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yo, Slugger, here we go. 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 Yo, Slugger, here we go. Here we go.
They be like, hey, what you gonna do with your life? Do with your life. Whatever I want, whatever I want. They be like, hey, what you gonna do with your life? Do with your life. Whatever I want, whatever I want.
So that was a little short little video for y'all. Definitely check it out. The full video. Yes. So tell me, I mean, you kind of told me about the behind the scenes that happened and who helped out, but in terms of, you know, the builds, I mean, just seeing, I mean, when we're taking a look at those concerts, they're all done in builds that were done by Artsy. Now, I know you guys have, like, I believe 9 builds with Artsy, and I think we have a couple of flyovers. Here's, you know, the original ones, and then we also have some of the newer worlds that she built for you guys. But tell me about working with Artsy and some of the worlds that she created for you guys.
Oh yeah, Artsy was incredible. Once again, you know, Rock Dollar, he showed me all of his worlds and turned me on to Artsy. So, you know, Greg Karen and I, Pixel Addict, my partner and I, we had a series of meetings with Artsy. We gave her some of our ideas, what we would like to see, kind of gave her a lot of source materials so she could place, you know, certain elements in different spaces. And man, it was a collaborative effort, a creative collaborative effort. And long as she had the blueprint, Artsy banged it out, and she banged it out in no time. And we all loved it. And everyone who comes into our world just love her work, man. So big shout to Artsy. And I definitely can't forget Nearer with a lot of the interactables that we did and made happen during our holoportation event. So again, man, the community, everyone's talent, everyone doubled down and made incredible spaces. So I look forward to following the community into, you know, the next space, wherever it may be. And I definitely plan on staying a part of the community and participating and bringing unique experiences to the metaverse and to these digital spaces, because I was ready to go hard. I was looking forward to Mesh. I was looking forward to in-app monetization, all of the digital wearables, So I'm on it, and I know everyone is on it. So I don't think this space is going away. I think it'll be a couple of years while they make adjustments, and it will be more mainstream. But I'm here for the long haul because shit, I love VR better than regular life sometimes.
You and I both.
Pardon the little
Seriously. An
word.
escape. I mean, it's an escape, it really is. We could really be who we want to be. I mean, the creative opportunities that we have here, I mean, it's just crazy, right? For us to express our creativity. Now, tell me about your upcoming shows in real life, because you have some really amazing shows. And here's another flyover, by the way, real quick, of the amazing builds. Now, you've got a huge show coming up, right, March 25th, at the Wellmont Theater. Now, tell me about this concert. It's the Slugga Music Concert Series. This is including a bunch of artists, right, like Next, Amiri, so many other people. Tell me how this all came together and, the context behind this concert.
Yeah, well, again, Illtown Sluggaz is our startup project, and we were blessed to go on tour, 2 major tours with New Kids on the Block. So we covered over 100 arenas and covered over 1 million people. So now that we're back home and we're resetting, we found a venue where we could put on our own concerts. So with that being said, we are the promoters. We hired our brothers Next, A. Marie, AZ. We have Funkmaster Flex there, and Illtown Sluggaz will open up with our DJ set, and our boy Ryan Lane will be on our set. So we want to showcase new artists and give them a chance to open up and perform on the big stage for veteran artists. So we're going to do a series of concerts with different combinations of acts, and eventually we'll, have the Slugga Music Concert Series tour and the Slugga Music Festival here in Jersey or wherever it may land. So definitely new music discovery, and we want to get people live performances, live music in front of real people.
Absolutely. And if people, want to get tickets, or they live locally, they want to get tickets, where can they get tickets for this concert?
Yeah, so you can get tickets, visit wellmonttheater.com, or you could go to
He was about to say wellmonttheater.com, or you can go to his Instagram. Looks like he might have crashed out there with his internet. Let's see if we can get him back. By the way, y'all, shout out to VIN ROCK. I got to give it to him, you guys. Thank you. I know he's not listening to me, but big thank you to VIN ROCK for coming out. I mean, for him to just be here and be a part with all of us is really important. I know he said his battery was a little bit low, so hopefully it didn't die on us. I think it might have. But if it did, then we can end it early. I mean, I just want to say thank you again. Nira, do you want to come up on the stage real quick and just talk about your experience working with Vin? Want to come up on the stage? Nira? Give Nira stage access. All right, let's get Nira up here. All right. On over, Nira. All right, Nira, you want to tell us? Come over here. Come on, come join us on the couch. No worries, I know. We're trying to find you on the list. Come on over, take a seat. Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, while we're waiting, see if you can reconnect. Yes, absolutely. So tell everybody, you worked on the wearables, right, for the holoportation concert. Tell me about working with him. I mean, that's a huge, huge deal to work with Naughty by Nature. I imagine you were nervous for that experience.
Actually, I wasn't. I ran into him just in Altspace. Ben and I both did. And I was talking with him and offered to help him with stuff. And then maybe the very next day or a day later, a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, Laura Mingel, who we talked about, wanted me to meet somebody. And it was him. And we had already met. So that's what he was referring to. So we were supposed to meet and work together anyway. And I just met him before by coincidence, and we thought it was pretty funny. So we were destined to meet anyway.
Yes. And you actually went out, I believe, and saw him in concert, right? I think you went out. Stover also was another person who went out and saw him live. Tell me about like actually seeing him in concert, being a part of that tour and seeing it. I mean, it must have been an incredible experience to be there watching it all go down.
Yeah, it was really, really funny. And it was during the pandemic too. So like we are gonna go eat afterward. No restaurants were open. So I gave him a really hard time about it. He had told me at one point he was gonna wear his headset and be on the tour bus and be in VR every night. And I told him I would find where he was at and break his headset if he does that.
I mean, I think we wouldn't be mad if he was in VR every night, right, guys? We would want to hang out with him on the tour bus.
But I was like, and there was this point where we were talking, even when I met him, and it was after the show, and I kind of got out a little bit early, and we were standing at this line, and all the fans were coming there, and we were talking about just all very technical stuff, and these girls were standing behind us, and he noticed them, and he said, "Oh, hey guys, it's just Uncle Vinny here with Nerdy by Nature." He's just so funny, like we have such a good time together. I think we rode around he had a bicycle with him, so kind of rode around Allstate Arena on his bicycle.
Oh, I love that.
It was just very natural. I mean, we had worked together over a year by then and spent a lot of time together. And I think it's going to be funny for my kids to ever like realize my children don't realize when I'm in a Zoom call with him or something. And there was one day where they came in with this hip hop hooray, it's the 100th day of school. And I said, "Did you get royalties for this, Vin?" And like the kids are singing and jumping on the bed, and like my children have no idea, like how iconic his music is, and they're just like, "Yeah, we know him. He's Uncle Vinny."
I know. I mean, the younger generation may not know the importance of it, but I think a lot of us here tonight know the importance of Naughty by Nature and the impact that they've had in music and hip hop. I mean, it's incredible. Now, I have one more question for you, Nira. Now, I'm sure he's probably given you a lot of advice and you've had so many conversations with him. Is there anything that kind of stood out, like any piece of advice or a lesson that you learned even working with him over the last year that you're like, this is what I'll take from my experience working with Vin?
He's such a sweetheart. I really love working with him. He's very humble. And if you've noticed at any of the events, the focus is never on him. Like he really wants to, he's had his time in the spotlight, and he is really trying to promote a lot of artists. And that's why I end up just working with him and, doing as much as I could to help him out, because it was a pay it forward sort of thing. He was in turn helping other people out, and it was just a really nice environment to work in. And I had a blast. I had a blast making a fireworks show to Hip Hop Hooray too. That song is 4 minutes and like 30 seconds long. I didn't realize it till I started putting fireworks to it that is a long song, y'all.
I mean, and by the way, since we have you on the couch, Nira, I mean, I know you've been working on visualizers, music visualizers, things like that. What is coming up next for Nira? I mean, Altspace is coming down, right? So we want to know what is Nira going to be up to after Altspace goes away? What can we expect?
This is about it. He is the only person that I've told I would continue to do anything with when he's ready. I am retiring. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? We really, really appreciate what you've done here in Altspace. And I mean, regardless, wherever you end up, I know we will support you. We got so much love for you. You've done so much, not just for Vin, but so many people here in the community as well. So thank you so much, Nira. Let's get one more round of applause, you guys, for Nira. Thank you so much, Nira. We appreciate you. All right, well, with that, I think we can just get right into our closing thoughts. How about that, Avad? Let's get right into it. Let's go, y'all. Let's get into our closing thoughts. Yes. So, Vat, tell me what you thought about tonight's show. We lost Vin
Oh,
there at the end. Maybe I think because
yes.
his internet, or actually, I'm sorry, you guys, his battery was really low actually before we started the show. So we were trying to get him to last throughout the interview. It's okay, things happen here in the metaverse, but we got him for enough time tonight to learn so much about him. So tell me, Vat, what did you think?
Oh, yeah. Even 5 minutes with my, star pop artist was just gonna be amazing. This was an amazing show, and like I said, it's been amazing listening to his songs and everything. And it just the impact that his music had on hip hop and the humble, how humble they are and how classy they are, and it was not ever about over sexualizing the videos just to get a couple more views and all that stuff. It was always about music, nice and clean and classic, and it's just beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful heart, beautiful, amazing talent, and having them here on the couch and interviewing. I have to admit, I told Sher I had to search him. Just like, is it really him? This dude is my star, standing and talking. It was, no, I'm still not believing that, dude. Yeah, no. That just and then, like I said, but the teleportation event last year, it was like, oh my god, oh my god. It was just fantastic. So yeah, I had amazing fun. My my player was a little bit glitchy tonight, but we made it through. Altspace is shutting down clearly, little by little. But how about you? Did you have
I've been
fun?
feeling the same way with Allspace. They're like, we're shutting down servers now because my web projector's been acting up too, y'all. So just saying.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, I mean, tonight was amazing. I'm very, very blessed that we got the chance to speak to Vin. And one thing, I mean, I just learned from him in general, and even just speaking to Nira right now, briefly and hearing her experiences working with him. I mean, just the humility of people, right? Humility goes a
Yeah.
long way. I mean, this man has given back so much to new artists, people in the metaverse, right? I mean, the list goes on and on. And he's so humble while he does all of it. He's a Grammy award winning rapper, right? And a lot of people at his stature would be out here, not even speaking to a lot of us. Yet he's here interacting with us, being a part of the community, which means
Mm.
so much. And one thing I've learned about his career that I love, like I said, the authenticity, right? The fact that they didn't
Yeah.
have to try to be anybody else, that they said we could be us. And if you love us, you love us. And if you hate us, then oh well, right? And I think a lot of times we have to approach life that way, right? I'm a Virgo. Anybody knows me, I'm a Virgo. I'm very, very concerned about what people think and wanting to please everybody around me. But sometimes you just can't please everybody, right? And you got to realize that the people who love you and support you will be with you. The ones that they really like you anyways. But just know that you should always be yourself. Don't try to put on an act, be somebody else, or be something that you're not to try to fit in, right? Especially here in the metaverse when we think about the Oculus, right? I mean, we put on an Oculus and we come here and we could be anybody that we want to be. But people see right through fakeness. I mean, we see right through it. So be your authentic self. Be who you are. Be who you want to be, but be the truest version of yourself that you can be. All right. Now, next week, I want to say thank you again to everybody who came out. It was packed tonight. I appreciate all of you guys so much. Blue, City, Aussie, Vad, Soul, Black Sage, everybody on the team. Thank you guys so much. Now, next week is our last show here in Altspace. I can't believe it, you guys. I really cannot believe it. We've had an amazing, amazing run here in Altspace. So next week, I'll be talking about the Altspace shutdown, recapping some highlights from my career here in Altspace. I've done several musicals, fashion shows, different shows. So maybe I'll go over some of those stuff because I know a lot of people may not know me from those things from earlier on. So we'll do a little recap on Altspace, and we'll also talk to some people as well about what Altspace meant to them. So if you guys want to come out, the last show, we're just gonna celebrate together. It's our last couple of days. So let's just enjoy it, you guys. Let's just have a good time. Enjoy these last moments together as a community and have a good time.
Mm.
All right. I want to thank everybody again. Thank you to the Tonight Show team. Thank you to all of you guys for coming out. Thank you to VIN ROCK. Thank you to Greg, Pixel Addict, and his whole team, Illtown Sluggaz, for helping coordinate all this. We love you guys, and we will see you guys next Wednesday at 10. Mwah. Have a good night, you guys. See you next time. Wait, for your host, everyone. I have to admit, there were 50 people on Altspace tonight. 45 of them were here. It's so good to see you all. You're doing something right. Thinking about that, don't forget to rate these things. Still take those feedback very seriously, and behind, we'll take that new picture. Post it on Instagram. That's me.